them a big round of applause.
All right, it is very difficult to follow a Kirk Ozine and Derryl panel because, truly, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the work that these fellows and the ladies at Hasbro did. Truly, we are standing on the shoulders of giants. So, thank you, guys. So, we are very proud to be here. Thanks. Yeah, turn down the lights, lock the door. We're very proud to be here again at this is probably my 25th G.I. Joe convention. I think I've been at almost all the ones that Publications has put on. It's a phenomenal show every year. I see the familiar faces from the community that G.I. Joe fandom has become. It's like one of the warm welcoming things I look forward to coming to every year. This is only March 2nd, but who's still doing the same thing?
That means I'm not a rookie anymore. I'm a grizzled veteran.
So he acts like he fits right in with everybody because everybody's so warm and welcoming. So thank you for coming to our panel for 2016. We do have some surprises for you, so we're very glad to have this here. Of course, Mark, you let out all the surprises in that crossword puzzle.
Has anybody finished that crossword puzzle?
We tried.
You tried.
We saw a lot of responses online, some very good, some not so good, but none that had it completely accurate. So no matter how hard you researched it, everybody was surprised, at least a little bit.
So, and when Mark was proposing the idea for the crossword puzzle, I'm like, it's kind of crazy. It's like, but wouldn't it be too easy? He says, he had instantly the answers. He says, well, there are only 3 options for an 8-letter character with an L in the second position. He had in his head, he had all this matrix and in for Joe information.
Yeah, it wasn't randomly put together, and the figures that you know about, gave you Stiletto, and we had planned for Scarlet Sergeant, and we announced before JoeCon, and conveniently they're together in the puzzle too on one side. None of that is by accident, but all the construction of the puzzle was done because we knew if it was easy at all, the dedicated Joe collectors would snip it out overnight. And that's no wonder. So my only worry, just a little one, was if the community would be unhappy about it being a hintless puzzle. And the feedback we got was nothing but positive. So we really appreciated seeing you guys play in that sandbox for a couple weeks. And we will reveal all of the names for the puzzle in the panel. We will show you all of the Joe product for this year and all of the prototypes. All of the prototypes will be in our booth a little bit later today.
All right, let's get going.
So, meet the G.I. Joe team. Most of you know Derryl Depriest, officially Vice President of Global Brand Strategy and Marketing.
Wow.
He wrote the collectible G.I. Joe in 1998.
That's a long time ago.
Also, joined Hasbro in 2001, so he's been making toys for a long time. This you probably don't know. Derryl provided the vintage G.I. Joe toys for the Kia Motors commercial. You probably saw it earlier this year.
Right now, Kia put it up right after that. You may or may not get a little bit of a longer story up on Hasbro Pulse, that kind of tells the story of that. But I don't know what's going on with the car industry right now. Maybe you guys know, I haven't figured it out, but this is the second 12-inch G.I. Joe car commercial in the last 18 months. The first was Honda, that they did their Honda Holidays commercial. And then Kia came to us and they said, we want to do this, and we helped them with it. I was able. We don't have great vaults at Hasbro or our archives. Kirk can probably tell you. Where our G.I. Joes are stored, it's in this sunlit area on the 4th floor of an old factory building in Central Falls. I think I gave you information.
Maybe. Come visit. It's lovely.
And so this has been subject to the abuses of nature. The heat, it's not a climate control building, hot and cold temperatures, direct sunlight for 20 years probably. The archives are horrible. So usually when requests like this come in, they come in from ad agencies. It's like, our promotions team said, we struck a deal with a car company. You know, they want to use 12-inch G.I. Joes. Great, when's it going to come out? 4 weeks. They need Joes tomorrow. You know, I'm like, okay, my archives at home are not, you know, they're packed. So I'm like, okay, this is going to take hours to like curate a bunch of stuff, but it's fun because I know, you know, 12-inch Joe's getting back on the screen. So we put this commercial together just in a very quick time. But the reason I say this is this will not be the only car commercial for G.I. Joe this year. We are actually working on another one from another car company in a different part of the world to use 12-inch vintage G.I. Joe's stop motion animated. So there's 3 car companies that have come to us in the last 18 months. I don't know what's going on, but vintage Joe is cool again, and we're glad to see it. So,
Go Joe!
If you haven't met me, because I am new to the team, but not new to the brand, this was a proud moment at Comic-Con last year, locking up with Sergeant Slaughter. I joined Hasbro in 2012, worked on the Transformers team. If you're familiar with the Combiner Wars, I got to work with John Gordon, the very famous designer of that. And then had the opportunity to join the Joe team and work with Derryl in 2014. And as a lifelong three-quarter G.I. Joe collector, that was absolutely what I wanted to do. So thrilled to be part of the team. 2 things I'm excited about this year. Brian and his club knew that I was a huge fan of Interrogator. And when they made him in their FSS line, they offered me the opportunity to write this file card. So that was a big deal for me as a big Interrogator fan. And I also got to create quite the endless G.I. Joe crossword puzzle, which I think has gone over pretty well. So thank you guys for all that. We get this question in the booth all the time. What's up with the G.I. Joe? So, we have several partners we're working with outside of the regular toy line. We always start with IDW, because IDW really is telling the story of G.I. Joe with their ongoing Real American Hero book with Larry Hama, which we all love, and then sometimes stuff we didn't necessarily see coming, like the Street Fighter G.I. Joe crossover that's going on right now, and their Revolution comic book, which is coming up shortly. We'll have more about that in just a little bit. We also have our partnership with Kindle Worlds, which has now eclipsed 100 Joe stories, individual stories by Joe authors out there, and was the genesis for our readable online, taking 3 of the most popular characters from 3 of the most popular books. So,
and we'll have a Kindle Worlds panel with 3 of the authors who've written multiple works later.
And then Gentle Giant has been helpful bringing the 12-inch and the 3-quarter community together with some 12-inch 3-quarter Joes. There's a familiar Bazooka Soldier coming out a little later today. And then I don't know if you came by our booth yet today, but sometimes there's things that you never saw coming. This has been online, I know, for a while. We actually have a prototype for a cyborg Snake Eyes from 1,000 Toys, which we'll be debuting as a Comic-Con exclusive a little later this summer.
So folks ask, what's up with 12-inch Joe? The reality is we do have partnership opportunities that come in, licensing opportunities, and we definitely, you know, take a look at those, evaluate those, and we love all of these collaborations. The made figures and made new figure, come on out and check it out.
So working with IDW, who's been our partner for Joe and Transformers and My Little Pony and other Hasbro properties, their big crossover event, which starts, I believe, in September, is called Revolution. And it looks like your toy box from 1986. If you take Mask and Micronauts and G.I. Joe and Action Man and Rom and mess them all together.
And Jim.
And Jim, of course.
Jim's not in there.
No. Don't start that. But the idea is, what if they all actually happen in the same universe at the same time? So the concept looks kind of like this, but the idea is that they're going to have a Revolution comic and also Revolution storylines in the other existing comics that establish all these characters as existing in the same world. And after the event, everyone has their own normal comics back. But in a year, if Rom fights dire raids at Luke Air Force Base, the response team that comes in will probably be G.I. Joe. So once we've established they live in the same universe, the potential for future crossovers is always there. But it is not the intention to make this salad and always play in that bowl. everybody has their individual stories. They just live in the same universe. So we're very, very excited about it.
It's important to note this is separate from the Hasbro cinematic universe. So IDW is a partner on multiple titles for us. And of course, you know, G.I. Joe Transformers crossover comics have been going on for 30 years now. So when they came to us with this idea, it was in parallel to what we were doing with the cinematic universe. And we said, absolutely, this is a great idea. And so they are just, you know, we're having a lot of fun with it. They're having a lot of fun too, bringing these properties out that haven't been out in a long time and connecting them together. So it's a great series.
So Revolution, that's new and that's shiny and that's exciting, but it's not the only thing that we do through IDW. And we're so pleased to have Larry here at JoeCon as one of the godfathers of modern show. And Larry is still trailblazing. He's one of the longest continuous writing runs in comic book history with G.I. Joe getting into the 220s and 230s. And really interesting, the cover is up here. As I said, still trailblazing 34 years after G.I. Joe #1 hit shelves. Issue 228, the entire issue, features an exclusively female cast. It's all gals. And the best part of it is, you wouldn't know it reading the comic. They didn't trumpet it on the cover, they didn't have a press release about it. It's just a great comic. And it reads fine, and the reason it reads so well is the characters are so well defined and so beloved, and that's a credit to Kirk and the Hasbro team and Larry's writing in the past, that we have so many strong and compelling female characters that we can do an entire book with them, and it doesn't stand out. You get through the book and go, it's a great issue, can't wait for the next one. And someone almost has to clue you in. Did you realize that not only all the characters, but all the flight attendants on the plane, or the guard that checks them in through the gate, every person in that book was female. And I think that's a testament to what Larry and Kirk and the guys built over the years. And I just thought it was so cool how they did it under the radar.
Great job. Yeah, Larry.
So our licensed partner, we have General Giant, who has been making 12 major shows based on the original shows. The next one up is Zap, which will be coming out later this year. You can pre-order it, scheduled to arrive and be available to fans this October.
Hopefully this isn't the end of our collaboration with General Giant. So we don't have any more news to announce, but you can talk to them too and express your appreciation if you like this series and want to see more, let them know.
And then this is a prototype of this figure is in our booth right now. You can come take a look at it. The concept is a cyborg Snake Eyes and 2,000 toys, and they'll have this available at San Diego Comic-Con coming up in July. So the writer's room, which I'm sure you've heard about, I don't know if anybody has a favorite Hollywood writer, Justin, but there's several very, very, very talented writers who are working on all of our properties and seeing how they work both individually and together. And if you don't know the names, which I provided for you on the screen, you might know the work that they've been associated with and responsible for over the years. And so if you see what they've worked on, there's a real good combo of television versus movie versus comic book versus sci-fi and superhero. The body of work in the military with Lone Survivor, the body of work is really, really impressive. So we're very proud of the writing talent that is working on the future of G.I. Joe and several other Hasbro brands.
So I don't want to presume that everyone is familiar with what's going on or what we've announced, because there's been a couple of announcements, mostly from the Paramount side of this. But what we are doing is creating, this is a long gestating vision of our senior management team at Hasbro, is to bring our very powerful collection of intellectual property, storytelling, characters and stories and settings together, really for the first time. So, other companies have, with a long, rich history of characters, have done this very successfully as well. And so we felt that we have a very powerful opportunity. The project is officially called the Hasbro Cinematic Universe. It's film-based, separate from what IDW is doing. And the goal is to bring together and unite in a multi-film storytelling arc. G.I. Joe, Micronauts, Mask, ROM, and Visionaries. And so Mark and I, in fact, have a little logo hidden on our shirts that a couple of people have picked up on. It's a Visionary logo combined with the Arashikage logo, which was the symbol that we actually created for the writers in the writers' room, generated some unique apparel so that, you know, everyone wanted to feel special on this project they were working on. So we kind of decided, let's wear that in plain sight for everybody to share that vision. And the goal here is, we don't know the time period yet, but in the next couple of years, this will start to take shape, and the writers are working on it, developing treatments right now. And I had the privilege of sitting in this room for 2 weeks as the brand representative for all these brands. So Mark and I are the management team responsible for the Hasbro, the Connected Universe. In addition to G.I. Joe, all of these other brands as well are under our management. So we'll be developing these over time. So in the 2 weeks I got to sit in the writers' room, I got to know a lot of these writers, and the passion is amazing. Their ability, their understanding of pop culture. You know, these are writers who create some of the masterworks, and I can't even tell you how excited we are to have them creating the storytelling fabric that we'll be bringing out. And we'll tell you that G.I. Joe is a very, very important part of this universe, the core foundation. So we hope to do you guys proud. So look for that. More news on that as it unfolds, probably, announced by parents.
So we'll move on to the crossword puzzle. We gave you guys Stiletto to start with because Stiletto was your choice as our fan voted figure for this year, released on the Hasbro Pulse. The one that you guys know about has already been announced. You can see in our Comic-Con exclusive, the G.I. Joe Transformers mashup. It follows in the footsteps of 3 very successful comic book presenting Comic-Con items: our Starscream Sky Striker, our Shockwave His Tank, and our Jetfire Sky Striker with the Hound Man. So we did 3 years, and then we had the epic conclusion. And then I remember being very clearly when Derryl and I were pitching last year's Comic-Con exclusive, and a higher up in Hasbro management said, "Weren't you guys doing Transformer crossovers?" I said, "Yeah, we were, but we're done 3. We had a conclusion. Now we're trying something else." He asked the head of our toy shop that sells at Comic-Con, "Did those sell well, Megan?" Megan said, "Yeah, they always sold well." I said, "I think we might want to see that come back." So the epic conclusion only lasted a year. Now we're back to the all-new G.I. Joe Transformers. I know you've seen this, but it's a really good look at the power art. And of course, we're starting with Scarlet, teamed up with Power Glide as recognizable as a Raptor jet. One of the things we tried to make really clear about this, and you can see it in the booth, is that most of the deco on the Raptor is decal based or sticker based. And what we wanted to do was, for the people that open it up, we didn't want to dictate what this jet had to be for you. So there's a ton of Cobra stickers on the sheet, some Joe stickers on the sheet, there's some Autobot stickers on the sheet. So if this is Autobot Power Glide in your collection, absolutely great. If this is the Crimson Rattler from Max and Xamot Glide, since there's 2 places to sit, absolutely fantastic. If it's a G.I. Joe ready again, cool. So, we thought that was really important because we believe Joe and Transformer fans, there's a lot of crossover between those fan bases, but we never want to dictate what the toys should be in your own collection. So it moves on from Scarlet to Zartan, who knows a thing or 2 about transformation. And his figure teaming up with Soundwave. Soundwave, coming from the Transformers team, I can tell you one of the headaches of Soundwave is that he's one of the 5 most popular Decepticons. He turns into a tape player, and it's just a little bit dated. So what was we want to make possibility for this, but hard to do Megatron because of what he turns into historically. We've done Starscream, we've done Shockwave. Soundwave was a good get as an A+ Decepticon. But what does he turn into? Well, the Cybertronian mode is sort of tank-ish. And we knew that this GCC his from 2005 was a very popular his tank that hadn't been available in a long, long time. So we thought, you know what? Soundwave would be his tank. We'll give him some new funky cannons and have something that both Transformers fans can dive into or Joe fans can make their own, depending on which stickers they put on it and where it fits in your own collection. So we'll give you Scarlet and Zartan. And if you think they're up in the left corner on accident, you're dead wrong. Because we knew they'd be revealed first, and we didn't want them giving hints away in different parts of the puzzle. So, we get to our 2016 G.I. Joe lineup, which will be available through Toys R Us, which has been our very strong retail partner for the last several years. It will also be in partnership with Entertainment Bird, who will be able have some of the figures online if you choose. So we would definitely want to give credit to our partners at Toys R Us and Entertainment who are very strong supporters of the Joe brand. So, the Versus 2 packs, which are favorites, I think, of the fan base for what's coming out later this fall. One important thing is that our release date actually is pushed out. So your new Joes will be available in November this year instead of August. So that gives you a little more time to stay occasionally.
And one thing you'll see this year is a focus on figures. So, the past 2 years we've done some great vehicle sets. They were, I'll be honest, were some of the slower sellers of the line. The figures have done well, and that's what Toys R Us asks us to continue. So you'll see a 100% figure focus this year.
Starting with some people you're familiar with. So these are our figures that are well known. You've seen them before, but as you know, in our lineup, some are figures that are being re-released. So our task as a brand team is, if we're going to have some re-released figures, we want to make sure they're compelling both to the average fan and to the dedicated collector. So we try to find ones that are that sold either sold very well or were potentially underserved to the community. And so this is what I believe is the best modern Snake Eyes figure ever. And the Renegade Storm Shadow, which I know was very hard to find for some collectors.
So maybe I'll set the context on this too, Mark. So we have 2 parameters when we're creating a line every year. And right now Joe's in a quieter period. So we know when it comes back into the year it will be very big. So in these quiet years, it's a fight to get the resources you need to really increase the G.I. Joe line. And really the 2 parameters we have are what's called item count, which are the number of physically new items that we can make as a company. That's regulated. Every brand has a certain proportion and they advocate for them. And we fight harder than anybody, for Joe. The second parameter is tooling. Now, I know there's a misconception among some fans that when we have a set of carry-forward figures, which in this case is what we call Snake Eyes Storm Shadow, that takes the place. Otherwise, those could be newly tooled figures. What the heck, Hasbro, are you doing? That is, I want to disabuse that. We spend every single dollar of our tooling budget to put it in the most impactful places in the line. So, rest assured, when we get that tooling budget, it's absolutely applied to new figures, new heads, and things to make newness and freshness. That said, if we just focused on just a core number of new figures every year, the line wouldn't be monetarily significant to Toys R Us. So we use the best of our carry-forward figures and figures that have what we call consumer insights behind them, figures that are in high demand, maybe have high secondary value, indicating to us that's worthy of a re-release. And we use these figures to help broaden the line. In many cases, it's core figures that we know the casual fan, or maybe the fan who isn't quite as deep, can get reacquainted with these figures, or with their kids, and get some of their favorite figures from a movie that they've seen on DVD. So these exist to help the line, to broaden it out, and to drive some things, but they do not replace or take away any tooling dollars, from units. So we'll get to that in a second.
And I'm sure you're familiar with these figures, but they come with a ton of accessories and some alternate heads. So if this isn't exactly your flavor, you can go with something that's a little more classic. All that will come in this two-pack. So that gives you Storm Shadow. I know a lot of people thought that was the Cobra Sky Bat. It's not Cobra Sky Bat. And second. Moving on, what we call Sinister Allies. Something that we talked about earlier that Derryl is a huge proponent of is nobody wants 10 low torches to get their 10 heat vipers. Got it. But wait till you see the blowtorch coming up. We're all friends. But so this, if we're gonna have a troop builder, we're gonna have troop builders in the line. If we can make it work, put them together, and then you can buy the two together. So you only have to buy 4 packs to give you 4 Vipers, or 8 packs to give you 8
I should build an 8. What's the commander out front? That's what it is on the show.
So that's our Sinister Allies pack, which gives you your Cobra Viper and your
bicycle.
If you're bidding on a zombie biker on eBay right now, don't. Because we'll get the zombie biker back coming out this fall. And I mean, zombie biker, who's better than Richard building with a zombie board? So we want to enable that and make that easy for our fans. So that gives you, this is the only sneaky thing I did. I put zombie biker on the truck. I said you're getting 18 figures, not 18 characters, so I feel like it's
Sneaky.
This is what we like to call heavy conflict. So that's heavy duty. And one thing that I'm sure you all know, but may not know the exact wave of it, is when we own a name and don't use it after several years, we can actually lose a trademark for it. We've seen it happen. That's what gets you Agent Scarlet sometimes instead of just Scarlet. Heavy Duty is a name that we were about to lose. So it made sense as a guy who, aside from movie figures, did not have a modern version of his classic figure. So when we went to create this year's line, this was one of the very first guys we knew we were going to do to go get a brand new Heavy Duty this fall. And then, you're familiar with Stiletto, because you voted for Stiletto. This is our Kindle Worlds figure. That was a fan vote. One note is that this is all prototype images, and there are still some corrections coming. Her skin is a little paler than we wanted to be, so you'll see a revision of it coming on. But we're really proud of our Kindle Worlds authors, and we're proud of the band, how strong fans have backed them up. But all of the authors did great. All of them do great work, and the three guys who had finalists all had phenomenal stories. But I do want to give credit to Bill Metro, who's in the audience somewhere today. Bill, stand up. Up. This is Bill Metro. And the creator of Stiletto.
And I think Stiletto's here too.
Yeah, and Stiletto happens to be one of the Stiletto making time in her busy schedule.
And Bill will join us on the Kindle World panel later, along with Troy Osgood and Wes Ferguson. So we're thrilled to have you guys here. Thanks very much.
Stiletto.
And thank you for voting. So that was something that I think is very important to us too. So is that okay if I take a second, Mark? So Stiletto is a symbolically very important character for us. So first of all, it's a fan-created character. A fan-created character that then inspired a fan-created vote, where you guys basically decided on which character would officially come into the G.I. Joe movie. That's the attitude that we're taking. The Kindle Worlds authors, I can't explain it enough, are doing absolutely phenomenal work. They started like everybody here, whether it's a costumer or a figure customizer or diorama builder. These guys put their creativity into words that tell stories based on characters that have been created in the lore before them and put together in new ways, and new things are added to the lore. We absolutely love that. We don't consider the Kindle Worlds work fan fiction. Instead, I call it near fiction, because we look to it for inspiration to draw that in. There is no community that we think, or there is no brand, I would even be more expansive. There's no brand that's more owned by the fans than G.I. Joe. And the roots actually go back very deep to the Steel Brigade promotion. That was back in the 80s, where you could actually create your own character, name it, and become a member of the Joe team. It may not have been in the pages of the comics, but that was an official G.I. Joe. And you felt it when you did that. I can be part of the Joe team. And that's the same spirit we carry on today. This is a brand, and we're here because you guys own G.I. Joe just like we do. So to do things like Stiletto, we hope is the first of many that we can do over the years. Can't make any promises about the future. But I think symbolically it's very important to acknowledge you collectively, the fan community, the contributions you made to G.I. Joe, and now bring it onto the team. So it's a great start. So Bill and all the authors, thank you for your contributions, and we're very, very proud to be able to bring that officially to the team for everybody to share.
So we gave you Stiletto to start with. We also get Heavy Duty built in now too. Well, I know there's one person here who's excited about this.
Diane.
So we have everyone needs more to, and then one of the things that I think is really important, this was a bit of a curveball. As much as I love all the established Joe lore, I think there's always room for brand new characters. I think it's really important for everyone. So I was very confident no one would solve the puzzle because no one has met this guy before. Never in the movies, never in the comics, never in the toy line. I would like to proudly introduce you to Tombstone. So we wanted to make, the idea for this set was we wanted to make kind of Duke's opposite number on the battlefield. Who's the guy who doesn't run Cobra, but is the guy who's running the battle from the field. And a couple other bits that we wanted to do with it. Really wanted to have an unmasked Cobra villain. The idea that most of Cobra's troops and even hierarchy has masks or hoods or, paint on their face, something obscuring their identity. I really like the concept that this guy is not ashamed of what he's doing or who he is. And so to have a fully revealed face on a notable member of the Cobra hierarchy, I thought was important. And there also has been very little African Americans in Cobra, and we thought that was really important. Cobra pulls from everywhere. So the idea that it can be a character that pushes all those buttons, brand new character, African American, totally visible face. Those are some of the things that led us to JoeCon. So. Could have been rock and roll, could have been roadblock, could have been knocked down. Actually, there were 9 Joes that fit in that slide. But absolutely. Oops, sorry. So this will move us to our squad 3-packs. Before we get away from the 2-packs, something important for the guys who dive deep into how we market G.I. Joe. We are moving the 2-pack case pack to a 10-pack this year, which will be even packed with 2 of each of the 5 packs. It doesn't mean there won't be any hard-to-find zombie fighter 2-packs, but everything is evenly packed. There is nothing short packed. So there's nothing artificially hard to find because of how it's packed in the case. That'll help you collect everything you want. So moving forward, we go to our 3-packs. These are very popular and we want to make these. In the past, they've been outnumbered 3-packs. So they've been 2 Cobras ganging up on 1 Joe, or 2 Joes down 1 Cobra. This year, we're going with a squad-based 3-packs to have teammates together in a set. And the first one is our Cobra Legion. So there's 2 of the 3. The third one needs a little build-up. Again, everyone loves Cobra Dad who doesn't like the song. So, but the third one we wanted to go somewhere where Joe really hasn't gone. Not regularly. We saw them walking in their female Cobra officer outfits yesterday and thought, wow, cool foreshadowing. The one thing that is not clear from the front, so we included the extra image here, is Two things that are very important to note here. A, the ponytail, and we made it blonde because we wanted it to be the color that stands out most against the Cobra uniform. The other thing, we went back and forth on this quite a bit. Dire Joe fans, like everyone here will know, that there is no hood covering the face of this Cobra officer. It's not a mistake, that's actually by design, because we really wanted to trumpet and showcase that this was a female member of Cobra, and felt showing the face told that story better. And one of the things I like too is that we made her an officer, so that saw like her in bad, if it listens, we'll take orders from her. So that's our Cobra Legion, and again, this falls into the trip building. Something, as I said, Derryl and I believe in Mary's home. So this is something you want to buy a whole bunch of this fall at Toys R Us and everything. So that gives you back a Cobra officer. I saw it. So moving on, and this is our last item that we showed you today, the last new thing for 2016. We named this Special Forces. And some of you know the little squad, which we introduced last year with our sightline figure, which I think holds a special place in everyone's heart. And Ace was also a member of the Wolf Squad. So, continuing along that theme of the guys who get it done, no matter what the mission is, we give you a dark version of how back. A dark version of Falcon, the gray still green. And then the last one, this is one that I'm really, really fond of. Probably the best thing about this figure is the accessory. My favorite accessory of the year, brand new, something you haven't really seen before, not this way. So if you'll pardon the tease, it's a suitcase, but it's what you put together that's truly impressive, and that is to scale for a pretty notable sniper rifle. Now I'm sure, I don't know if all of you go back, probably not, but we wanted to go back to the original G.I. Joe. When the original G.I. Joe team from the 82 was called in Marvel Comics, you're picking up what I put down. So in bottom right corner, in what was a nod, I believe, to the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, Jim Shooter, they covered up the face of the 14th original Joe, Shooter. And then later in Devil's Due, they gave us a look at the untold story of the 14th Joe. So we are very, very proud. So look for Shooter in that three-pack and a prototype came out a little bit later today. And we do that. Shooter and
So, never thought that you could clap for a completed project. So that's great, Mark. All right, so I'll take it from here. So, it's been, what can I say, it's been a phenomenal 20 years working with Brian. Actually, longer on the G.I. Joe Club with Brian's 20th G.I. Joe convention. We want to thank Brian and the whole Fun Publications team for 20 phenomenal years. So forgive me if I get a little verklempt from concern a little bit. So, first of all, this convention, if you step back and take a look, which I have, you realize that the panels, the activities, everything that is happening at this convention begins with things that you created as the fans, oftentimes organically, as an expression of your fandom, or as a fun thing to do, or in case of the parachute drop, as a piece of late night skullduggery, trying to just have some fun by throwing a figure, off the roof of the building. It's like crazy stuff. We would never, if people asked permission for that, it would never have been granted. If you guys did it as become a mainstay at a convention, absolutely amazing. And I could imagine a convention, really without it. So I'm going to go through a few things here to really inform what the convention is becoming. I think you'll start to get the story and mission up here. Custom figures. This started way back at the very first Joe convention I went to back in 1992. For both figures and dioramas back in James D. Simone's original convention, where people were just saying, I have an outgrowing of passion for Joe, and I have an idea I want to create, and I'll use the parts to do it and make things. And I brought a diorama to that 1992 convention too. I brought my Blu-ray dioramas. I didn't know other people were doing the same kind of thing. And it has become the rock-solid foundation of the convention. All the customs you do that blow people away every single year and inspire others to do what they're doing. Look at the community that's been created out of this. And I couldn't imagine a Joe convention without, these amazing creations. Same thing with, photography contests. Many of us, and myself included, are super interested in just the photography of Joe, how it can look like more than toys and be representative of life, have an emotional context. And these are, again, mainstays of the convention created by yourself. Now, this is an amazing story. The growth of the G.I. Joe costuming, the fan base, and I give so much credit to the finest for not only bringing amazing costume creations here for the great philanthropic work that they've done that makes us super proud as the GI Joe community. So thank you. Thank you for this has spread. The number of people who jumped in, inspired by these creations, is tremendous. It ranges across the country and around the world, and we hope that this, keeps going far into the future with their efforts. So absolutely amazing work. Thank you very much. And then also the fan film creations have been absolutely amazing. We've got hours and hours and hours of fan created G.I. Joe films. And little known fact, my two brothers who are in the video game industry also, and I'll bring this for next year's convention, I'm getting my brother to digitize it. Back in the 1970s, they were Super 8 filmmakers using 12-inch G.I. Joes to create stories. And they created a film called Attack of the G.I. Joes. And that formed the basis of their animators in the video game industry, inspired by their work in fan films. This today is an extension of the tools, technology, and storytelling that you can use. So you guys are doing amazing work. Keep going at it. And this is, again, a mainstay of every G.I. Joe convention. The new emerging Kindle worlds, the authors out there telling phenomenal stories, has also become an absolute mainstay of our community. Podcasts. Now, so the regular Joes and What's on Joe Mind, I love these. These are created by guys who met here at the show and have become, super cool pop culture sensations, along with the finest. It's created by people who met here that continue and exist on and provide year-round fun. I can't say enough about this. I wish Todd was here. Barry and Avery here for the regular Joes. Justin couldn't make it either from What's on Joe Mind, but lots of the other guys are here too. Joe, things like Joe D. Glass are from fans who met here. Pushing the boundaries and pulling together as a collective community to further that hidden backstory of the creation of G.I. Joe. Amazing things from here. Thank you guys. Absolutely amazing. And of course, what would JoeCon be without the friendships? And I found one picture that summed up to me. Friends that we've had in the life forever and cherished very, very. So, bottom line, the point I'm making is this is your show. If we weren't here, the show would go on. And there have been years when Hasbro hasn't been at the show, and the show will go on. And because of that brings us to today. So after 20 great years, the show will go on. So we're very proud to announce
So I have to apologize to everyone that I've had to toe the line and continue with the same thing that we've been doing, to not let the cat out of the bag of what they have graciously come back and allowed us to continue. And again, this is because of you guys. So because of what you've created, what you do, your camaraderie, it's all because of you.
bring together Hasbro's multiple properties. And you get that's a theme that we're working on, bringing together things. And one important point we realize as we do that is there's a depth of experience here in the G.I. Joe community that is unlike really anything other. Maybe it's only close to Star Wars, which I'm also a community very close to. And that's exactly the point I made. Like, all of these activities right here cannot be replicated easily. They cannot be replicated without you in the audience. And the kind of thing that HasbroCon will be amazing, and I can't wait to, introduce the details to you as we go on. But it's clear that over time, it may come to be that experience, but out of the gate, it will not replace it. So that's why we said we have to continue on, Brian. So that's continuing the club, continuing the FSS.
Remember that the one thing you really collect here are the people and the friendships and experience. The action figures is just an excuse you give to your family and friends. That's what it's all about. All you got. That's what it's about. So we'll look forward to seeing you guys next year, right? All right. So yeah, we have 5 minutes for questions. If you guys want. Fairbanks. We'll take some questions right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a notoriously bad way, like when you stuck you shouldn't have ruined it. 6-inch series. Can you put paid to that rumor?
I'll neither confirm nor deny that, we're looking at a lot of different things for the future of G.I. Joe. I can tell you it won't be soon if we do something like that. But given the success of 6-inch in Marvel and Star Wars, it's definitely something that we're considering. You guys might not know, we actually brought a 6-inch Snake Eyes prototype to JoeCon probably about 10 years ago. We were kind of thinking about that before, but as yet we haven't pulled the trigger on it. But it's definitely, I won't deny it's in consideration.
And I think it's important that when people talk about 6-inch, when we talk about 6-inch, I don't think we can ever talk about it as a replacement for our 3/4 board sticker. So Marvel has a 4-inch and 6-inch line. Star Wars has a 4-inch and 6-inch line. So obviously those two scales can collaborate.
And so that's a good point. So I was responsible for also introducing Star Wars 6-inch. One of the team that I don't, it's not me, I didn't do it. It's a team of folks, but I let the business read rationale to do that. What we found out is it justified the assumptions we made that the 3/3/4 world, the thousands of figures that have been produced today, can be intimidating for some fans, and also some fans have left the hobby. They just can't keep up anymore. And what 6-inch does, it can become a very measured segment. People feel good about jumping back in, or it's a new start for people who aren't in it yet and who appreciate the intellectual property. So if we do, Mark has the right of it, which is we'll keep a perspective, we're on the brain, we'll keep a perspective of what you want in mind to do, to do that and see in your Joe line. So that's probably a lot more information, but I want to be honest, I will not disabuse the notion that we're not going to hear that. But we're trying to think about it in couch and context. Sorry, that was a very long answer. We can go on. Yes, sir, back there.
Dean Solaire from Nerd with Attitudes Podcast. I had to say that we're really elated today. As fans of G.I. Joe, we're really pleased with the offerings you've allowed us to see today. But my question is, as a fan who loves these toys, and we are really excited about getting to retail, but we also want assurances that the quality is going to be there. As the first offerings of the 50th anniversary, in my opinion, we're a bit subpar with paint applications and the plastic quality. So we're wondering, are you going to go back to the Pursuit Cobra era, quality, plastic, and paint applications, or are you going to continue with the theme of quality and supplies you use for
So nothing was an overt change to reduce the quality or reduce our standards. So I don't know, Mark, if we actually understand exactly why we got the results that we got at that time, because of the same factors that we've been producing our products for a long time. I will say both of our last couple of lines we've got them to market very quickly. And sometimes when you ask for things to be done very quickly, mistakes happen. And I think that's what we were seeing then. And also we had a change of personnel too. People who may not have been accustomed to the eye for detail that say a John Gordon would have been in the past. That said, we've learned from our mistakes. We definitely felt it. We've gotten your comments through the consumer cares and talking to folks last year. So we're watching that. We're vigilant on those things. So the same factors, we haven't changed our standards. I think it's just a matter of attention to detail and probably passion for the product to watch that. Thank you. Yes.
All right, well, first of all, thanks guys for being here, making our year. This is awesome. Question for you if you carry out your figures, like Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. I get why you have to do that. Is there a reason why you couldn't change the paint apps, though, for people like us who board and have here's the thing.
Yeah, I can take that. This is something I deal with all the time. The way it works in Hasbro is, it is either a carry forward figure with nothing changed on it, or it's a new item. So we are given our meager allocation of new items for a year. But if we carry forward a figure, it does not count out of that budget. So if they say you get 7 new items for next year, immediately we try to figure out which 5 we can put on top of that. But they can only be carried forward. So the second I change Storm Shadow's belt, even just taking an existing accessory and swapping it in, that counts out of my new figure budget.
Even a paint change.
Even paint.
Even
The only thing we can change is the packaging. Packaging is allowed, but if it touches the figure, the deco, or the accessories, it counts as a new.
And the reason is a raft of people have to track it and follow it at that point, all the way from a designer to a product manager to an engineer. Whereas if it's a carry forward figure, it exists kind of in a different system. So Hasbro has a place to allocate those. So G.I. Joe's made great use of those in the past, and we'll continue to do that. What we try to do is when we make changes, it's meaningful. But those figures don't take the place of another figure. They're freebies that we get. I say freebies. They help us extend the line with meaningful things, but they do not replace any of the newness that's in the line.
And I was really pleased that we were able to share a little bit behind the curtain about that last year, because it allows for more intelligent discussion. So later today, if you say, I really wish we could have had Jungle Viper instead of Storm Shadow, that's a reasonable discussion because it's apples and apples. But frequently what you'll see online is, I didn't want that Storm Shadow, I wanted an all-new Galactus. Well, that's never going to happen. It doesn't work like that. So by pulling back the curtain a little bit, I think we can educate the dedicated fans who then become ambassadors and informed ambassadors online. When someone shouts about why aren't they all new, you can tell them the truth about why sometimes it is wrong.
We got time for one more.
I have a question. Long follow-up question. Is this for sure that this should last at JoeCon, and what are you going to do for it next year?
Put the sign back up!
I can't answer that. The answer is no. And the next convention will be Fairbanks, Alaska.
Nice!
So we'll go to one real last question.
Is there anything you can say about Hasbro's relationship with Hasbro with regards to Transformers going forward? Any news?
Say that again? I didn't get the question.
Sorry. Any news you can share with us about Hasbro's relationship with Hasbro regarding Transformers conventions going forward?
Transformers conventions. No. So I think Hasbro's, our teams have already made statements on Transformers. More details will come. G.I. Joe's and Transformers, we have taken separate paths for them. So,
Thank God.
yeah, so here we're just talking about G.I. Joe, and are very proud to announce that continuation.